predictions video for the national championship game between Ohio State and Notre Dame. But first, I want to say that Thursday night, Little Win Franklin did what he does best. He lost another big game. And even though Penn State seemed to have the advantage in that game, to me, I should have known better than to pick them because the Little Win Franklin always finds a way to lose the big games. Of course, I knew he was terrible in big games, and I knew he couldn't beat Ohio State. But I thought after losing so many big games in a row that he could finally get one. But he's just not capable of winning big games. I don't think he'll ever win another big game. He's a dead end head coach, but a good coach. But he's always just gonna lose the big games and probably win all of the games that he's supposed to win. And Disaster Aller showed why on my channel I call him that because he was a disaster in that game, and he really lost them the game at the end when he threw that interception that gave Notre Dame great field position to where they were able to kick the game-winning field goal. But I'm through with Penn State. For Notre Dame to have a chance to win this game, I think they're going to have to get some turnovers, and their defense has been good at that. They've got 32 turnovers this season, uh, and they're going to have to not turn it over themselves at all in this game, I think. Notre Dame's not just going to be able to win this game, I don't think, by just putting together drives and getting stops. Their turnovers are also going to have to be to where either they run them back for a touchdown or it gives their offense great field position, or if Ohio State is getting close to the end zone, they get a turnover that takes points away from Ohio State, or maybe if Notre Dame could get a special teams touchdown, they would have a chance. But I don't think Notre Dame has much of a chance to win this game because Notre Dame's defense, while it's very good, I don't think it's quite as good as Texas's defense is, and Ohio State's better both offensively and defensively than Notre Dame is, and Notre Dame's offense, got shut down by Georgia, and Ohio State's defense is even better than Georgia's is. But with coaching in this game, Marcus Freeman is actually at 0-2 against Ryan Day because this is his third season as the Notre Dame head coach, and they played Ohio State both of his first two seasons there early in the regular season, and Ryan Day, I think, is a better head coach right now than Marcus Freeman is. But Ohio State, I've said probably has the best coaching staff in the country this season. Notre Dame's coaching staff might be the second best in the country, and I do think that it seems like Marcus Freeman was an upgrade over Brian Kelly. Notre Dame might have the second best defensive coordinator in the country behind Ohio State's Jim Knowles, Al Golden, and Notre Dame has got a offensive coordinator that's one of the best in the country too. His name is Mike Den Brock, and he was the one that called plays for the 2023 LSU offense that was led by a Heisman winner, Jaden Daniels, and at quarterback in this game. So Will Howard is a better quarterback, I think, than Riley Leonard is. But an advantage for Notre Dame compared to Texas. I think is their quarterback can run around better than Quinn Ewers could. I think he'll be able to a few times get out of the pressure and get Notre Dame a first down with his legs. But Ohio State faced a better passer against Texas than they will in this game. And Will Howard, even though he's not as good of a runner as Riley Leonard is, he's a better passer. And Ohio State, I know, doesn't call as many of the design quarterback runs as Notre Dame does, but Chip Kelly did that on purpose in the Texas game. And he saved the quarterback run for when he needed it on that 4th and 3. Where Texas was expecting a pass, but Chip Kelly called the keeper, and it fooled the Texas defense to where Will Howard was able to not only pick up the first down, but a lot more. And if he hadn't have slipped, he would have taken that all the way to the end zone. And at wide receiver, Ohio State has a huge advantage. Notre Dame's wide receiver room is okay, but it's not above average at all. And I was wrong when I said in my prediction video for the Ohio State Texas game that it's impossible to stop Jeremiah Smith. I know that he's the most famous at wide receiver, and no, Texas was able to take him out of the game. He only had one catch for just 4 yards, but they did have some problems with Abuka. Mecca Abuka still had 5 catches for 51 yards. And when Texas was so focused on covering Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State's third best wide receiver, Carnell Tate, who is going to play in the NFL too, had a big game of 7 catches for 87 yards. So Ohio State's got too much talent at the wide receiver position to be able to shut down everybody. And I don't think that Notre Dame is going to be able to shut down Jeremiah Smith like Texas was able to do. But at tight end, Notre Dame does have an advantage. So Mitchell Evans, even though he hasn't been as good as he was expected to be this year, he's played better later on in the season and had a big game against Penn State where he caught 5 passes for 58 yards. And a concern for Notre Dame in this game is they struggled a lot to stop Penn State's two running backs. They combined for 166 yards in that game. And Ohio State's two running backs are just as good as Penn State's are. And Notre Dame's best running back, Jeremiah Love, is close to as good as Judkins and Henderson, but he's not healthy. And Georgia got down Notre Dame's run game, and Ohio State's got even better run defense than Georgia does. So I think Notre Dame is going to struggle to run the football in this game, and I think Ohio State is going to be able to at least run okay in this game. I think Texas's run defense that shut down Ohio State's running backs is better than Notre Dame's is at least by a little bit. And on the offensive line, as good as Notre Dame has been, I think Ohio State's a little bit better. Notre Dame doesn't really have a player quite as good as Ohio State's Donovan Jackson. And Notre Dame is going to be without one of their starting tackles in this game. And on the defensive line, same thing. As good as Notre Dame has been, Ohio State is better. So Jack Sawyer uh, had one of the best defensive plays in the Texas game that I've ever seen, where he forced the fumble from Quinn Ewers and ran it back 83 yards for the game winning touchdown. He reminds me a lot of Joey Bosa, who played on Ohio State's last championship team and was a defensive lineman. In 2014, that was their last championship team, and now he plays in the NFL. And at linebacker, I've talked about Notre Dame's Jack Kaiser, but Ohio State's got two linebackers that I think are even better than him. Cody Simmons now has over 100 tackles this year, and Sonny Styles had a huge game against Texas of 9 tackles and a sack. And in the secondary, at safety, it's interesting watching Caleb Downs and Xavier Watts going against each other. Probably the two best safeties in the country this season. But at the safety position, I would give Ohio State a slight advantage. Was they've also got Lathan Ransom, who is close to as good as those two safeties I just named, and I'd give them the advantage at cornerback too, at least by a little bit. So Denzel Burke, who's maybe Ohio State's best corner, did get hurt and missed the second half of the Texas game, and I don't know if he'll play in this game or not. But Ohio State's other two starting corners, Davison Igbinosun and Jordan Hancock, have pretty much been lockdown corners this season. And I don't think that Notre Dame's offense is going to be able to do much in this game. I think they're not only going to struggle to score points, but they're going to struggle to move the ball in this game, and they're going to have a lot of three and outs. I think, and I think Notre Dame's defense will keep them in this game for a while. But I think for Notre Dame to win this game, they would need a better play at wide receiver than they've got. And I think that Notre Dame's defense is going to get tired, and Ohio State is going to end up winning the game pretty big. I've got Ohio State 28, Notre Dame 10. So that will be it with this video. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.